on the train coming back from yet another doctor and saying that it doesn't make any sense that there's a Beaker Highland for everything and there was no one for us to call. And it was then that we made a promise that if HaKadosh Baruch Hu helps us and we have a baby, that we will do everything that we possibly can to help anyone on this journey of infertility. I remember when Baruch Hashem we were helped and I had my little son, and the first Shabbos that I lit that extra little lechtala, I remember just crying and thinking of all the people that didn't have the schus that I had. It's a very special moment. And I remember that promise. And it took a lot of perseverance, and it took a lot of hard work, and it took a lot of walls that had to come down to bring a time into the Yiddish world. In fact, our name, A Time, is a time to hide the word infertility in it, because even though we really wanted to be the Jewish Fertility Association, we said we'll never get our ads into papers, we'll never get anything into any type of community. So we hid our name in the really nechama that there is a time to be born. So here we are today. I remember at the very, very beginning, we felt that we needed a big gadol. It was 3 women, and we needed a big gadol to help us just bring our name, bring this organization to the community. At that point, Rav Pam Zecharno Levracha was alive, and we decided that we must see Rav Pam, because Rav Pam was somebody that everyone believed in. And at that point, Rav Pam was not very well, and he wasn't seeing anybody, but we heard that once a month he would be in Tarvadas, he gave a shir, and if we stood outside the base medrash or sat outside the base medrash, he might see us. So we did that. We sat outside the base medrash. In fact, we must have been a sight, because it was me, Suri, and Vlimi. And I said, if I'm going to meet Rav Pam, I'm going to have my baby get a bracha. So it was me with my baby on my lap, waiting for Rav Pam to come. And I remember the whole Torah Vodas, this is 23 years ago, probably 24 even, the whole Torah Vodas filing in for the special share. All of them walked right by us, and then suddenly we saw the Rosh Hashiva and 2 Gabbaim, and they walked right by us too. And I still can clearly see everyone in Torah Vodas getting up, and the Gabbaim turned around and said, would you like to speak to Rav Pam? And we said, yeah. So they said, okay, right after the shir. So stay here till after the shir. And Rav Pam Zecharno Levracha closed the door himself and said, Nein, jetzt. And I really think that Rav Pam he was a gadol, and he knew that we were onto something big. And I remember we were telling him my journey, Suri and Blimi were telling them his story, their story. And we said how we had nobody, there was nobody there for us. And I had a dream of being a great medical resource. I didn't want my story, my journey to be lost, and I really didn't want anyone to be alone. And Rav Pam Zecharno Levracha said, you see the desk that we're sitting at? Do you know how many tears were shed because people did not have who to speak to? And at that point, he gave us a Haskama letter. And I'd like to show you our very first publication, our very first magazine. It was Pesach of Spring 1994, issue number 1, a Torah and Fertility Medium of Exchange. And inside is our first Haskama letter. And it's really cute. We save it because it says, Banu Lefanai Nashim, a few women came to us. This is us then. This is us now. This came out probably Rosh Hashanah. We had another magazine, Hanukkah time. And this goes to Eretz Yisrael. As soon as it gets published, 100 copies at least are sent to Eretz Yisrael. 100 are an emergency, and then we try to send more. And now, Baruch Hashem, we reach thousands of people around the world. All of you that are here today have a part in, probably now when you're watching this, we're going to be at the weekend retreat in America. About 200 couples will be enjoying a Shabbos away, a life-altering Shabbos away. As I was leaving the office today, I heard one of our volunteers saying, one of our medical people saying, hey, Chum, how can I help you? It still is unbelievable music to my ears. So we offer any type of service to couples going through infertility, and our mission is to be the number to call for anything a couple may need. And every program and service that at time was founded from needs. So I just want to say that really my favorite Gemara, I'd like to end with my favorite Gemara, is that Rebbe was in the marketplace and he saw a little, I think it was a sheep going to slaughter, and the sheep did not want to go to the shaychet. And Rebbe picked up the little sheep and brought it to the shaychet. And he said, "For this you were born." When Rebbe was older, they said he had such a terrible sickness that even the maid asked for a refuah. And they said it was because of this incident, because of the story. And they said, really, it's true. It is because of this that he was born, but Rebbe should have cared. He should have cared that the little Shapsala was scared. Not everybody can do what the volunteers and the wonderful people at Time Israel can do, but everyone could care. So all of you here today, I know that you're here because you care. And when you are Nosef al Chavero, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's almost like you experienced infertility. So it is my bracha for all of you that are here and that are helping us here today, that you should never really know what a time does. And that we should be zacha, that everyone who wants a little hand to hold, and everyone who wants to be a mommy should realize their dream with your help and with HaKadosh Baruch Hu's help. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight.